The morning of my daughter Lily's graduation was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life. For 18 years, I had watched her grow from a fragile newborn into a brilliant, strong young woman. She had been accepted into a prestigious university on scholarship, she was class valedictorian, and she was everything I had ever dreamed my child would become. I had spent the last week planning what I would wear, how early we should leave, and how I would hold back tears when she walked across the stage. I wanted every moment to be perfect. When I walked downstairs that morning, I saw my husband, Mark, already sitting at the kitchen table. His tie was loosely knotted, his expression distant. "Morning," I said softly, pouring myself coffee. He didn't look up. "Morning." Something about his tone made my stomach knot. But I brushed it aside. This was Lily's day. Nothing could spoil it. Or so I thought. Part 2, the ceremony. The high school auditorium was packed with proud parents, siblings, and grandparents. Banners hung from the walls, and the air buzzed with excitement. I sat between Mark and my younger son, Daniel, clutching the program. When Lily's name was called, I jumped to my feet, clapping so hard my palms stung. She walked across the stage with her head high, her gown flowing, her smile radiant. I felt my throat tighten with emotion. "That's our girl," I whispered. But Mark didn't clap. He didn't cheer. He sat stiffly, his jaw clenched. I shot him a confused glance. "Mark, what's wrong with you?" "She's graduating." He just muttered, "We'll talk later." Those words chilled me. Part 3, the announcement. After the ceremony, families gathered outside to take photos. I wrapped my arms around Lily, tears streaming down my cheeks. Daniel snapped pictures, and for a brief moment, everything felt perfect. But then, Mark cleared his throat. Loudly. Too loudly. "Everyone," he said, raising his voice. Heads turned toward us. "I have something I need to say." I froze. "Mark, what are you?" He cut me off. "I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm filing for divorce." The crowd gasped. Lily's smile collapsed. Daniel's camera dropped to his side. And I stood there, numb, as though someone had ripped the ground out from under me. "You're what?" I whispered. Mark's voice was flat. "I can't do this anymore. Not with you. In front of dozens of people. On our daughter's graduation day." He chose this moment. This place. Lily's face crumpled. "Dad, what are you saying? Why now?" But Mark didn't answer. He just shoved his hands into his pockets and looked away. Part 4, the shattered moment. Lily burst into tears. Daniel shouted, "What the hell is wrong with you, Dad?" I wanted to hold my children, to comfort them. But my own body was shaking so violently I could barely breathe. People were staring, whispering, taking out their phones. The humiliation burned. But something inside me, something I hadn't felt in years, snapped. I straightened my back, wiped my tears, and forced my voice to steady. "Fine, Mark," I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Leave. Walk away from your family. But remember this moment. Remember that you destroyed your daughter's happiest day because your ego couldn't wait 24 hours." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Mark's face went red. "You think this is about me?" He snarled. "You've been a terrible wife for years. Cold, controlling, never satisfied." My knees trembled, but I stood my ground. "And yet you stayed. Until now. Until you thought humiliating me in public would make you powerful." Part 5, the secret. That's when I decided to do something I hadn't planned. Something reckless. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "You want to talk about secrets, Mark? Should I tell them why you're really leaving?" His face went white. "Don't." Lily blinked through her tears. "Mom, what's going on?" Mark grabbed my arm. "Don't you dare." I shook him off. My voice rang out, sharp and clear. "Your father has been cheating with a woman half his age. One of Lily's teachers." The crowd gasped again. Phones shot up higher, recording. Lily's eyes widened in horror. Dad, is that true? Mark's composure crumbled. His face twisted with fury. How dare you embarrass me like this? He shouted, his voice cracking. He started screaming, his hands shaking, his eyes wild. The very control he thought he had shattered in an instant. Part 6, The Fallout. Parents pulled their children back, murmuring in shock. The school principal approached nervously, trying to calm things down. But Mark was shouting so loudly, so furiously, that no one could ignore him. This isn't my fault. She drove me to it. She ruined everything, he roared, pointing at me with shaking fingers. Lily stepped between us, tears streaming down her face. Stop it. Both of you. Just stop. Daniel put his arm around his sister, glaring at his father. You're pathetic. And in that moment, I realized something. Mark thought he had control. He thought he could humiliate me and walk away victorious. But all he did was expose himself. Show his children, his community, his colleagues who he truly was. And no matter what happened next, divorce, custody battles, financial struggles, I knew one thing, I wasn't the one who lost that day. He was. Part 7, Rebuilding. The days that followed were brutal. Headlines spread in our small town. Father announces divorce at graduation. Videos of Mark's public outburst circulated online. He tried to claim I had exaggerated, but the truth had already spread too far. His reputation crumbled. His affair was exposed. The teacher he had been seeing lost her job. As for me, I focused on my children. I held Lily every night as she cried. I reassured Daniel that we would be okay. And slowly, painfully, we began to heal. Mark begged for forgiveness once the consequences hit him. But by then, I was done. I filed for divorce myself. I kept the house. I kept my dignity. And I walked forward into a new life, scarred, but stronger. Part 8, A New Beginning. Months later, I stood outside Lily's university dorm, helping her move in. She hugged me tightly, her eyes bright with determination. Mom, she said softly, thank you. For standing up for yourself. For us. Tears pricked my eyes, but this time, they weren't from pain. You're my strength, sweetheart. Always have been. As I drove home with Daniel, I realized something. Mark had tried to break me on Lily's graduation day. He thought he could destroy me in front of everyone. But instead, he gave me the greatest gift, freedom. And I vowed never to let anyone steal my voice, my dignity, or my peace again.